Hello Epiroc colleagues and welcome to Safety Day 2022. I'm David Bianco and I lead the global SafeStart implementation within Epiroc. Today I have a quick status update and a message from the developer of SafeStart, Larry Wilson. In spite of the challenges presented due to the pandemic over the past few years, we currently have nearly 9,000 of our employees and additional workforce started on their SafeStart journey. When we started this effort, we had a target to train 13,650 of us by the end of 2022. While we may get close to meeting that goal, Epiroc now has 17,000 employees and additional workforce. So efforts to bring SafeStart into all Epiroc locations will continue into 2023. Now, here's a short video from Larry, made especially for Epiroc on this Safety Day.
Hello everyone, all my friends at Epiroc on your Safety Day. Although a lot of you know this already, I'm Larry Wilson, the author and founder of SafeStart, which is about how rushing, frustration, fatigue, and complacency can cause or contribute to critical errors, like eyes not on task, mind not on task, moving into or being in the line of fire, or somehow losing your balance, traction, or grip. Again, I realize that some of you are already familiar with this state-to-error risk pattern from part 1, but as you move on with part 2, you'll also learn how rushing, frustration, fatigue, and complacency, or more likely a combination of those states, can easily compromise or negatively influence our decision making. For example, we all know what the posted speed limit is out there. There's lots of signs. But most of us have our own speed limit, which is usually a bit higher. But everybody, or almost everybody, has exceeded their own speed limit when they were in enough of a rush. So people don't just break government rules or company rules. We'll all break our own rules if enough rushing, frustration, fatigue, or complacency enters the situation. So that's what part 2 is all about. Now, for those of you who are still continuing with part 1, don't forget about your family. Your children, grandchildren, nieces, or nephews. Taking SafeStart home to them, the state-to-error risk pattern, the critical error reduction techniques, that is so much better than saying, be careful, and then when they get hurt, well, see, you weren't careful enough. I mean, I can remember my grandmother just looking at me saying, Larry, you just have to be more careful. And then she shakes her head and sort of wistfully says, you know, I told that to your father over and over again, but it just never seemed to do any good. Well, if it didn't help my dad, then why are you telling me? We've got better technology now than be careful or try to pay more attention next time. So like I said, try to make the effort to take the concepts and the critical error reduction techniques home to your family. Twice as many children die accidentally compared to adults at work sites. So it's well worth the effort. And finally, for those of you who are just starting with part 1, well, the likelihood that you're all excited, revved up about taking a personal safety program, that's just not reality. Nobody over 16 really worries about their own personal safety unless they're doing something new like driving or scuba diving where there's lots of obvious risk. But if you take your eyes and your mind off task, what that means is that you won't see it or see it coming, which means you won't get the benefit of your reflexes, and in that moment, you'll be defenseless. So if you think about how many times have your reflexes saved you, and then you think about how many defenseless moments you might have when your eyes and your mind aren't on task, you'll realize that there's been a lot of luck involved. And the purpose of the critical error reduction techniques is to replace that luck with skill. As I used to say to people in the class all the time, any guarantee your kids will be as lucky as you. SafeStart is not about rules, procedures, or specific workplace hazards. It's about keeping those hazards in mind and in sight at work, at home and on the road. So I hope you like it, but more importantly, I hope it helps you and your family. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I hope you have a great safety day.
Thanks, Larry. So, here's a little quiz. What percent of Epiroc injuries do you think are caused by human behavior? An analysis of Epiroc injuries has shown that over 60% of them were caused by or related to human behavior. That means the decision making that we make in the moment influenced to a major or full degree why the problem happened and why someone got injured. So we can see that these SafeStart principles are involved in 60% or more of the situations which cause injuries. So our focusing on the errors that we might make and understanding the states that we're in are so critical to injury prevention. So in order to overcome the states and errors we've just seen, we need to utilize the SafeStart critical error reduction techniques, or CERTs, in real time. That way we can overcome the potential for injury. I hope that even if you haven't begun your SafeStart journey, you can see how SafeStart principles make sense for all of us. One last note. The pandemic's slowing down and many things moving back to normal, whatever that is, can cause us to let down our guard and make mistakes due to rediscovering our freedoms. Let's enjoy the things we took for granted for so long that we lost, but realize that decisions made in the moment still need to be made with consideration of our personal states and possible associated errors. Here's hoping you have a great safety day every day.